Hello, Jeff. We're live. We're
Hello.
live.
Are we live?
Yes.
All right. We are. This is live, and we're breaking new ground here because we are in the car on the way back to the stadium from the airport. I'm with ex Oakland Raider linebacker coach Robin Ross, who's at the wheel right next to me. There's Robin over there. And we are bringing you coffee with Coach, and we ain't got no coffee, but we're in a traffic jam. But we didn't want to waste another minute because we got an unbelievable guest today, Devon Best, ex-Miami Dolphin wide receiver, ex-University of Hawaii All-American, and Pro Bowler as in his time with the Miami Dolphins. Welcome to the show, Devon.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me. I look forward to it, to the conversation as usual.
It's always a pleasure to speak with you. Hey, this summer we went through kind of a tough. All of us that are guys have a heavy heart because we lost, probably the greatest quarterback to ever play, certainly at Hawaii, and one of the greatest to ever play the game and at the collegiate level, Colt Brennan. What just quickly, Devon, before we start talking about the Dolphins, just give me your recollections of Colt. And I know you guys were close friends, but just what he meant to you.
He meant a lot to me. It gets harder and harder every time, to really talk about the person he was and what our relationship was and what he meant to me. But everybody know that Colt was a giver. He would give you the shirt off his back. You know what I mean? And I just continue to have these vivid memories of him just always being positive, showing love, especially to the children, which is most important. It's unfortunate, the circumstances that went down and how it went down, but I just say that, it's a learning lesson for all of us. Life is short, and we just got to continue to not take things for granted, especially life in general, because it's precious. You only get one, but I miss Colt. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to continue to, try to live out his legacy and, do what I can to make an impact and make sure others don't kind of, follow through those same mistakes that he and I made in the past.
Well, it was such an amazing thing to be a part of that and to watch the relationship of you two guys who grew up really in totally different worlds. He's a Southern California kid and, went to modern day. You're an Oakland kid and for a Northern California guy, come to University of Hawaii and become fast friends. And, every time I think about him, I cannot help but just see that smile he had, that infectious, incredible smile.
Yeah, man, for sure. That's what I was going to say, man. That smile would just, it'll light up a room. You know what I'm saying? And it was just so genuine. You can just see it in his face. But yeah, man, we came from different backgrounds. And when we got to UH, we both was, coming off of, getting second chances, so it was just something that really resonated with the both of us as far as making the most of our second chance. And, June Jones giving us that second chance and being able to, do what we did. I remember vividly the first time we met, we basically talked about everything we accomplished the 3 years that we were there, and it just made everything that much more special. So he would always have a place in my heart, his family as well. And yeah, man, it's been tough, but like anything, you just got to keep chipping away and get through it.
I hear you. Hey, man, let's talk a little bit about the Dolphins. Now, obviously you ended your career with Cleveland, but your best years were with the Dolphins, and you're loved and remembered fondly in that city by that fan base. You look at them right now, D, and they're struggling at 1-4.
Yeah.
Tua's been hurt. What's your take on this football team?
We all had high hopes entering the season. We looked really, really good on paper, but that's the thing about the NFL, man. You gotta stay healthy. We've been depleted with injuries, starting with, Tua. He's the captain, he's the leader of that team. For him to go down, it's kind of been a trickle effect down to the other guys, who's bagging him up and, the other guys around him. But I think the team has a lot of potential. I like the way Coach Flores's mentality is. He's a very smart, very detailed guy. You know, you need that to be successful. But you can only go as far as, you know, your guy who's up next. You know what I'm saying? The next guy has to be ready because the NFL is all about who can stay healthy because it's a very, very long season. But I think they have hope. You know, hopefully Tua can, you know, bring that spark back, man, and get us back on track.
Man, you think you're getting through an interview really well, and then you ask Jeff or leave a question, and Jeff just disappears. I'm
He just
presuming.
phones up on us, huh?
I'm hoping this
He'll
might
be
work
back
here.
in.
He might come back. He might come back. I'm just going to jump on what he's going to ask next, okay? Obviously, man,
Okay.
early game for the Dolphins this weekend going up against the Jaguars. As somebody that had a career in the NFL, did you ever get a chance to go overseas yourself, or was it
You know what?
just before?
I missed it. I missed it. So the year before I got there, 2007, they had played in London. And then from '08 to 2012, we didn't go to London. So I was just like, I missed the trip. I've never been across the pond. Was really looking forward to it. But yeah, I've never played over there, man.
Can you hear us, Jeff? You can hear us, Jeff.
I can hear you now. I'm sorry, I lost the bond. You know, he started to answer that question about the Dolphins start, and I lost my. I'm 2 minutes from the stadium, so as soon as I get to the stadium, I can get on their Wi-Fi. I got really shaky internet here in Canada, so.
The funny thing is, I can actually, if I listen effectively, I can hear Jeff Devon. So I'm not sure if you can hear him, but hopefully we'll get there in 2 minutes. I don't know, Jeff. Do you want to ask a question? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I was interested to hear Devon had started to give me his take on you know the Dolphins starting out 1-4, and he was talking about the injuries, and I think it's a significant thing because Xavier Howard still is not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Obviously, yeah. Just going on what Jeff said there. Obviously, Xavier Howard not 100%, and it really goes into, I'm not going to say the unknown this weekend, but even for the next few weeks, having to go to London against a team that is, 5 hours drive away isn't probably the best thing for them, but they're going to have to adapt to the situation. And by the way, I can tell you right now, I know you're on for another 6 or 7 minutes. Jeff's Wi-Fi will pick up at the stadium. I can tell you for a fact.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a unique situation. You know, it's an in-state rival almost, so to speak. But they're going thousands of miles, you know, just to play the game. You know what I mean? But it's all about the experience. It's all about, you know, the NFL trying to, you know, broaden the game and, you know, take it overseas. You know, we got a lot of fans over in that over in that region as well. So this should be fun. It should be exciting. You know, Trevor Lawrence versus Tua. You know, that's a nice little matchup. You know, so we'll see who get the best.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it myself. It's going to be interesting because it's so close to the midpoint of the season. It's a fascinating matchup in the sense that they have to really win, and hopefully by that point Jeff will be back before kickoff on Sunday. But do you strive to get up at 9:30 a.m. for a game if it's on in London, or is it difficult even as a former player or NFL fan doing that? I think Jeff's coming now. Happy days. Jeff, he's not coming, is it? This is just.
It's loading. I can see it loading. To answer your question though, for me as a fan now, it's not hard at all. I'm up early anyway. I'm an early bird, so that doesn't affect me at all. But as far as a player, I'm sure it can affect a lot of players with travel and getting the proper rest and the proper nutrition. You know, all of those things play key factors into your performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're also talking there about the international aspect of the game. I can see Jeff's getting out of his car, so it'll be another minute or so. But talking about games in Germany next year as well, I mean that's going to be pretty cool as well.
Really?
You can see him laughing here. Like, look at this. Yes, there's 3 cities that have been announced for Germany. Jeff, are you coming on, Jeff? Is this the plan?
No, I'm good.
I honestly, man, like Jeff was in Hawaii for 4 or 5 months, no, like 2 months after the season, and every week his Wi-Fi would die out, and this is the first time since it's died out. I'm just gonna presume, just give me a thumbs up, Jeff, when you're ready. But I'm presuming he's ready. I think he's ready.
I'm ready.
You're ready. There we go.
All right, there we go.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. It's never easy. but we get through it. We get through
For
it.
sure. For sure.
Hey, let's talk about Tua. And,
Okay.
here's a guy with such high expectations. Obviously, Devon, when you're drafted in the first round and you're a quarterback, that, it comes with certain, expectations. But, what's your take now? And here, I see some things in the kid. I was concerned when he came out of Alabama just about his, his physical structure. He's not a big guy. Right. And the pounding that those guys are going to take. Then he goes through 2 coordinators in his first 2 years. And that's got to be tough. Now, coming off this ankle injury, I feel a growing sense in the football community and certainly in the Dolphin fandom that there's concern about, is he that guy? As you watch Herbert, light it up, and you watch Josh Allen light it up, and Kyler Murray light it up, and where do you think he's at right now?
Right now, I mean, you hit it right on the nose. It's the whole health thing. I think that's the only thing that's kind of holding him back from being elite. I think he has the package. I think he has an amazing accuracy. Amazing accuracy. He has good pocket awareness. He can scramble. He's very smart, very intelligent. Can read defenses. Can read coverage, but none of that matters if you're not out there on the field. You know what I'm saying? So from that aspect, I just think I really believe he has to, really take pride in making sure that his body can take those hits, can take those beatings. Now, the guys that we just talked about, Justin Herbert, he's a big, strong guy. You know what I'm saying? Big live arm, all the intangibles to be a successful NFL quarterback. But I think, he, like I said, he's just much more physically gifted, much more physically strong and built. Tua, he's a little smaller, but yeah, man, it's an uphill battle. But at the same time, they drafted him in the first round for a reason. They have time. They have time to groom him. They have time to make sure he's doing the right things. And I just feel like if he can, continue to stay with the same coordinators and stay with the same receivers and kind of grow, have a nice core package with him as he grow and develop, I think he can be that guy. I think he can be elite in the NFL. But we all know that the NFL is an acronym for not for long. You know what I'm saying?
You got that right, brother. I'll tell you what, man. It's about what have you done for me this week?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And yeah, man. It's a show me now, put up now type of game, type of business. You got to put up right now. And I'm rooting for him. I'm a big fan, and hopefully he can come through, man.
Hey, now talk to us about and kind of give our listeners and our viewers a peek behind the curtain. What it's like. You made the transition successfully from college football to pro football. Now, what were the
My God, man! I have to say, Jeff, I'm gonna take Jeff out and put Jeff in again. I think let's just.
Yeah, I can't hear him. I can't hear him.
Jeff, if you can hear me, you're killing me right now, man. In a good way. It's fine. It's fine. Here we go. Here we go. He's
all
back.
Right. It's all right.
Jeff, can you see us? Hold on, he's coming.
All right, it's all good.
It's all good, man. I literally was typing up something. We've got like 2 or 3 minutes left, right. So basically, what's your thoughts on the situation this weekend? Can you see the Dolphins getting out of London with a win, or what's your thoughts on that Dolphins-Jaguars matchup this weekend in London? Because look, it's a sellout here. You can't get a ticket unless you're paying over face value for a couple of tickets.
Oh wow!
What's your thoughts, man?
I think they should win this one. Hopefully, the line can stay stout and protect Tua. Let him step up in that pocket, man, and just do what he do. Throw them darts, man, and the receivers catch the ball and do their thing. I like Myles Gaskin. He's a scat back. He can catch the ball, make people miss. I love that. and Jacksonville, they're struggling right now, so why not use this win or use this game for a confidence builder? Why not use this game for some momentum to try to flip this thing and get on the winning streak? You know what I'm saying? So every game in the NFL is important, but this is a good game for them to try to bounce back.
Good game for them to try and bounce back. And talking about bouncing back, Jeff, the internet's not going to bounce back. I know you're a busy man, so I'm going to thank you for coming on, man. And look, where can we catch you on social media? Have you got a Twitter account, Instagram account?
Yeah.
Do you want to shout it out?
Yeah, I got my Twitter is DevonBest15. My Instagram is DevonBest15. And my LinkedIn is Devon Best. So those are my social media networks. I'm pretty active on them, not too much, but I'm still in the mix. And feel free to reach out whenever, man. You got whenever y'all want to do it again, y'all just let me know, man. Shoot me a text, email, or something. It's all good.
I'll make sure Jeff's either in the stadium or his Wi-Fi at that moment, Jeff.
I was just gonna say that. Let's make sure he got some Wi-Fi wherever he at, man. So it's all good.
Thanks a million, man. I'm going to get Jeff's Wi-Fi sorted out, folks, and we're going to bring on the Dolphin UK fans in a second. Devon Best, thanks so much, man. Have a good day.
No problem. You too.
See you guys soon. Are we back? We're back, Jeff. You can hear me okay?
Dude, I don't know what's going on here.
It's all good. It's all good. Look, we're live. It's all good. I put a back soon up. It's all good. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, just stay on. We've got Lee from Dolphin UK on. We were chatting to Devon there. He reckons the Dolphins are going to get a win on Sunday. We'll bring him on, yeah?
Yep.
So it's Lee from Dolphin UK. It's one of the Dolphins' biggest fan groups in the UK. Lee, how's it going?
How you doing, guys?
Lee, tell me, are you stoked? Are you excited to see your fish in London?
I'm excited anytime I get to see the Dolphins. I was lucky to be at practice today. It is like Christmas morning for me.
How's Tua look? Give us an exclusive.
Sharp.
Does he look good?
Yeah, I mean, I only saw one drop during the 20 minutes that were open to the media. I mean, take from that what you will, but it's definitely a very different practice than when I last saw them over here with Adam Gase. Completely different, wildly different. I mean, it sounds obvious, but yeah, when you see it with your own eyes, crazy.
Hey, listen, we had Devon Best on, and we talked, ex-Dolphin great Devon Best, Pro Bowler during his time with the Dolphins. And I apologize because the interview got all whacked out because of my shaky internet. But it was interesting to hear him talk about Tua and about where Tua's at this point in his career, and about the pressure that he's under as a first-round draft choice. And all of a sudden, Herbert takes a step, and Josh Allen's taken a step, and it's one of those deals where I think Dolphin fans are waiting for Tua to show that he is just as good or belongs in the category, in the conversation with those guys. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame people for being impatient. Like the 5th overall pick, I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding for me that he's in his second year. He might be, but if you only start the half of last year, then it's, you haven't seen a full season's worth of games out of him yet. And I think preaching a little patience is probably worth it. I don't think it's a direct comparison right now to say Herbert would have been better. I know a lot of people were screaming, that Herbert is better right now. Not arguing with that, but there's a lot of things to work on in Miami, and it's not just Tua. We've seen that it's kind of the silver lining of him not having been there the last 3 weeks. You can see the problem is far bigger than Tua that the Dolphins are having.
Well, I think one of the things that's been tough on him is the fact that, he's been with 2 different offensive coordinators, maybe 3 now, offensive coordinators. And I don't care. You may stay with the same playbook and all that, but it's always different when you've got a different guy that you're trying to please. I think that exercise, I agree with you. I think the fans really in Miami need to exercise a little patience with the kid. They got to keep him healthy. They got to keep him on 2 feet. And they got to give him a chance to, they've done some things to get some playmakers around him. Now he just needs time with those guys to develop rapport and to develop chemistry. And, I think this is a big, big week for the Dolphins. At 1-4, as disappointing as that is, I don't know if they can catch Buffalo, but I certainly think second place in that division, which may qualify for a playoff spot, is certainly within reach. What do you think?
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is the week where they have no choice but to get it right. Like, if people are being impatient up to now, it's going to be real bad if they somehow to lose this game on Sunday. There's no choice but to win. Looking at it from that point of view, if they were to get a win, the schedule really softens up into a nice place where you could string a few wins together and all of a sudden things look a whole lot different. But Sunday's a big game. Tua will be now missing Devontae Parker at wide receiver, missing Xavier Howard at corner. It's not necessarily going to be easy, but even however you dice it, you have to find a way to come out of this with a win.
Well, and I think one of the things that Flores has done with certainly different than what was there previous to him is that this is they have shown that they can get what you're talking about is a character win, a game where you have to play well and you find a way to win. And I think that they've shown that they can do that. They just, as you say, they've got to do it on Sunday. What is going on with the Dolphin faithful this weekend? And are you guys taking over London or what's up? London's going to be in all kinds of teal. I know that between you and the Jags.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. There's a tailgate. There's a couple of different things going on tomorrow, especially in London. I know there's a tailgate party at the Hard Rock, which is apt being, I suppose, a sister venue to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. So there's a lot going on there tomorrow, which would be great. And then obviously, hopefully a lot of buzz around before the game on Sunday.
Now, we get a lot of, listeners and viewers from all over the world and all over Europe, and a number of them are going to be in London, for the game this weekend. If they want to, contact other Dolphin fans, or if they want to be a part of what you guys have got going on, tell me how they get in touch, or where they go, or what's the headquarters, what's the 411 for this weekend?
The main place to get in contact with us on Twitter. We just love to talk about Dolphins all the time. Like, even when things are going bad, there's nothing better to be around other fans of your team and talk football. Yes, things haven't been great, but the chance to jump on a microphone and talk with you this evening, or with the other guys on the podcast that we do during the week, it's the best hour of the week.
Now, tell me, are you one of those guys? You're way too young for this, so I think I already know the answer to this. But I run into so many fans in the UK that are Dolphin fans, and they go back and they can trace their fandom directly to the Dan Marino era Dolphins. You're not old enough to remember those guys, are you?
No, not quite. My story of becoming a Dolphins fan is a little quirkier. I fell in love with the game by chance. I stumbled across a Sky broadcast of a Super Bowl whilst babysitting my younger brothers, and I was like, I actually have a passion for this. This game is amazing, and realized that I'd never really liked the sports that I've been watching. Like I watched them, but I didn't have a real passion for them. So I said to my mum, who was in travel, look, I need to go out and see this live. She said, no problem. Where do you want to go? I was like, wherever's easiest. You just send me. She said, no problem. I'll send you to Tampa because you can fly to Orlando. It's nice and sunny. Great. The day before I was due to fly, she says, you're not going to believe this. They can't get you a ticket for the game. I was like, okay. She said, I'll send you to Miami. So I flew to Miami, and that was it. I remember the moment I walked into the stadium and saw the field for the first time. Just been hooked ever since.
Oh, that's an awesome story. You could have been a Bucks fan, but because they couldn't get a ticket, you end up a Dolphins fan. Man, like I've heard some, like you said, I've heard some quirky ones, but that one's pretty quirky. Now, what's been the greatest takeaway of being a Dolphin fan, and what's been the greatest frustration?
Oh, let's start with the frustration. Let's go to a positive afterwards. I think the frustration for me in my time as a Dolphins fan has just been the level of O-line play, like the entire time. I know it's not necessarily the most exciting thing to talk about, but it has got so many quarterbacks just absolutely battered in Miami. I mean, everyone had a fairly low opinion of Ryan Tannehill, and I think you just see with some protection, he's a more than capable quarterback. You know, he's thrived in Tennessee, but what we couldn't offer him in Miami was any semblance of protection, and I just fear that Tua is getting that same treatment, and it needs to be fixed.
Okay, now tell me, as a Dolphins fan, your take right now, and I know you're talking. You mentioned the offensive line, but where do you feel that the club needs to go to get to that level where they're competitive every week with the top AFC teams, the Kansas Cities, the Buffaloes, those teams? What is it that they need to do as an organization?
I'd like consistency. I'd like to ride this with Flores. I don't think it's. I know a lot of people are calling for Flores' head if this continues to get worse, but I think you have to ride this out at some point and continue the consistency. Again, to go back to the O-line, I think if you fix that, you just give the team an opportunity to be good. And at the moment, the quarterbacks, even with Jacoby Brissett in the last 3 weeks, a lot of the time he's not even getting a chance to make a read and make a pass. It's and I don't know how much you can blame him for that. And then consistency, even in the offense, I think we've had a different start in 5 on the O-line every week so far. They seem to have found a little bit of something last week. The left-hand side of the line looked a bit better, but then of course this week you put in a right-handed quarterback, and it goes back to the problem of his blind side is now our weakest side of the O-line, and that's what got him hurt in week 2.
Well, I think it's something that offensive linemen and the step that it takes for a young offensive lineman to play at the National Football League level is so huge, because obviously not only it's youth and they're not big and strong enough, a lot of them yet, unless you're talking about the elite guys. And, it takes time for offensive lines to play together. I mean, like secondaries, they require so much communication, so much understanding of how a guy's going to play a certain look or block a certain technique. And I think that's one of the areas where, like you say, consistency is really, really critical. And I think that's an area where I agree with you. I think that's one of the areas that's hurt the Dolphins historically for a long time. And, it's an area that they've got to shore up. Hopefully they've still got some of that draft capital that they've had for the last couple of years.
I mean, that's the thing that scares you the most is everything seemed like a great plan whilst you were collecting draft capital. But if you don't spend it wisely, it's not worth anything.
That's exactly right. Now, you mentioned your Twitter handle for Dolphin fans to congregate and talk football, talk Dolphin football. give it to us live right here so that the fans that are listening to this can hit you up.
So is that Dolphin UK is the one for the pod, and I'm at 5 Yard Lee, and I'd just like to say thank you, Jeff, for having come on the 5 Yard Rush podcast a number of times. It is absolutely great to have you on, and I love everything you do for us in the UK. It's amazing. Thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure, and you know what? We're all part of the same big family. You know, whether we're a Dolphin fan, a Tampa Bay fan, or a Raider fan, it doesn't matter. We're all fans of this great game, and it's awesome now that the games are back. I mean, it was so cool last week to see the amount of people in the stands, the energy of the. Are you going to the tailgate tomorrow? Are you gonna be down there with Neil?
Oh yeah, I'll be there tomorrow for sure.
Well, listen, tell everybody that you see that I said hello and that I can't wait to be over and very shortly to be on TV and spend time with you guys because the fans in the UK are as good as there are in the world.
Amazing. Thank you. Can't wait to have you back on our screens over here for sure.
All right, mate. Thank you so much. And enjoy the game and good luck. Go Dolphins.
I will. Thank you.
All right, brother. Great to have him. And I tell you what, Lee is a huge, huge Dolphin fan. You can his voice is dripping with passion. You're going back to London this week, aren't you?
I was on mute. It's just tonight's just full of surprises. Lee from Dolphin, DOL-fan UK. Great group. They came on a couple of Broncos things as well. Great guys, and thanks Lee for coming on so late as well. Enjoy the weekend. Yes, I'm going to London town, Londres in the morning again. I just can't get enough of London town. And thanks to everybody that passed on a hello to Jeff last week when they met me outside. Like 4 or 5 people stopped me. Jeff last week and goes, Jeff, yeah.
Well, I tell you what.
Okay.
What do you got going on, man? I got to know. I may have to do a live hit with you guys on Saturday or Sunday. What are you guys doing? Are you on top of a roof again, or what? Are you in the subway, or in a black cab, or what? I know you got something cooking.
A little bit of everything, man. I would love to get you on live, and I'm going to publicly say this. I have no idea how the technology works. It's the same thing we use, so like a little bit like this here. So if we brought you on live, I don't know how we could put it where like we're still full screen. I don't know. Talk about it after the show. But a party tomorrow night, in like Kilburn. I don't know where that is in London. Like maybe like West London. It's like an Irish bar, the Fiddler, and then we're live on Sunday morning, 9 a.m., the same place, opposite the stadium, on the roof, providing it doesn't rain. If it rains, I have no idea what we're going to do. There's a couple of guests coming on. Richard Graves coming on. Richard's doing NFL Network this weekend, which is awesome for him. Like that is amazing. And a couple more guests. I'll just say, just in case, I would feel bad if she couldn't. Your friend Phoebe's coming on. Phoebe's going to come on around 4:30 Eastern.
Enjoy them and tell all those people that we got to get them on the show. I want to talk to Richard about his Cowboys because he's got to be on top of the world right now. Cowboy next to Fred Flunk, he might be the biggest Cowboy fan I know. And with the Cowboys 4-1, and I think looking down the barrel of 5-1, I really believe that they're starting to make a believer out of me. I've always been shy to say that the Cowboys are for real, but I tell you what. You look at them, and they have done a great job.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're not going to talk about the Raiders this week. Don't worry. It's all good. We're not going to talk about it. Jeff, I've got a few comments here, man, from people watching tonight. And do you know what, folks? I know it's late in the UK, Ireland, Europe, so fair play. At David Crook, I'm all in on Tua, but need to keep him upright. David in Glasgow. At JW Allerich, I'm not sure where you're from, man. They need to have patience like Atlanta did with Ryan in terms of talking about Tua. Also, Brandon W 1994 in London for the Jags Dolphins game. Jeff from Edinburgh, Scotland. Tua is fit. Let's go. Fins up. I'm buzzing. Tua is fit. Buzzing.
I tell you what, it's amazing what his, when he got to green light this week, how that really, excited the fan base and really gave them hope. I love that kid, and I want to see him succeed so bad. And I just hope he, like Coach Crook said, you got to keep him on his feet. You got to keep him healthy. You got to give him a chance to go through his reads and not be back there chucking and ducking every time he goes back to throw. But this is a huge game, and it sounds like okay, you got a team that hasn't won. There's one win between the two teams, but I'm telling you, this is a big win for both these clubs. Miami needs to win because they got to get back in the race. They got to claw back in the race. They've got a schedule down the stretch that gives them a chance if they can get healthy and get back and get some positive momentum. If you're the Jags, on the other hand, you just need to win. You just got to find a way to win. And I feel for those players. I really do. It's tough when you're 5 weeks into a season, haven't won a football game, and it's happened to me a couple times. It is a lonely place to be, man. It is absolutely no fun. So, both these teams need a win in this stadium very, very bad.
I'm really excited for it, man. Did you get to catch the Falcons Jets last week? Did you watch it live?
Yeah, it was awesome to see that in the environment. Just I thought the energy in the stadium was amazing.
It really was. It was very good.
How about what the league has done? Now, they had the Combine, the National Player Pathway Program Combine in London this week. They've made it. It's really turned into an event, a week-long event with 2 games on both. With a game on the start and a game on the end. And I think that's a really unique way to approach it, and making it a little bit like Super Bowl week, where it's there's something going on all week long. There's media attention focused on London and the UK all week long. It's a great, great thing. And now we got Germany coming in another year. I'll tell you what, baby.
That's good, yeah. That's good. Maybe Dublin in a couple of years, yeah. Who knows? Steelers might want to play.
Das ist wunderbar, as they say in Germany. You know what? I think that's something we gotta chop up every once in a while, because I'm telling you, Ireland is perfect, because you got Croke Park, you got
Aviva as well.
You got Aviva. You got a history of football there. They've packed that place for college football, and certainly I think they would for the NFL. And
one game. And one game, Jeff. 20 years, one game.
They got the Steelers. 20. I mean, they got a like a family tie, I guess, to the Steelers. I think Steelers Broncos in that stadium would be awesome.
I would take the Steelers warming up in that stadium at this point. I think it's like, look, we're going down a rabbit hole here, but look, teams are going to be picking their markets for commercial opportunities next year. I have no inclination of this whatsoever. I don't think it's far off, and it's interesting to see teams like the Jets really put a foothold in the UK in the last couple of weeks as well. I really enjoyed it last Sunday. I thought the atmosphere in Tottenham Stadium was top class, and I understand there's obviously a business relationship there with Wembley. I'd be a happy man if you told me the games are going to be in Tottenham from now on, because it was fantastic. It was great to meet people as well, and just I guess have the crack. And I can't wait to do it again this weekend. Do you want to go over some games before we do that?
Let's go through some picks and take some calls if we got them, or take some comments if we got them.
Take some calls. Jesus, it's late. There's no more calls, but I felt bad for you with the Wi-Fi. Thankfully, though, I did get Devon off, and he was happy enough, and he was like, "Yeah, no." He was laughing about the Wi-Fi situation.
Devon is one of the great guys. I say kids, God Almighty, he's a grown man, but one of the great people I've ever met in this business, and really happy for him what he's doing. His family is awesome, and it was really great to hear him talk. I hope you can edit that in some way so it doesn't appear like we're using 2 paper cups and a long string, but.
I made this within 3 seconds, so hopefully that'll just have to do for now. That's it. Here, this first game isn't on the graphic. It's not on Sky. It's on BBC in the whole of the UK. It's on BBC Northern Ireland as well. The Dolphins, the Jags. Who have you got?
I'm going to take the Dolphins. I just really think that the Dolphins have too many good players. I think Tua coming back will give them a lift. I know they're beat up right now. And it's interesting. Jacksonville. They say all the right things, but I just really think that whole deal with Urban Meyer really, is kind of an indication of just something's not right there. And I feel for Urban, I feel for the players, I feel for Mr. Khan, everybody, but this is nobody sends you sympathy cards in this business. If you're struggling, they just want to beat you. Coach Vermeil used to say it this way, Michael. He used to say, we got to keep we got to keep losing teams losing. And that's what people look to do when you're struggling like the Jags are.
I'm going to take the Dolphins as well. I'd love to pick the Jags, but I just think there's too much going on there. Obviously, the whole Urban thing, it's he's obviously out of the limelight for at least this week again. So let's see what happens. 2 weeks ago, I thought Urban might not see Heathrow Airport, Jeff. I'm being completely serious. But they all fly into Stansted. A couple of lads were getting the flight back from to Dublin at 10:30 last Sunday. I haven't got the picture here, but they met Zach Wilson. Matt Ryan, to be fair to him, stopped outside a cafe and took a picture with two lads. So they're all going through Stansted Airport. I shouldn't be saying that, but they're all going home.
Now you're going to have
Sunday night.
They're going to have to hire riot police at Stansted now with all the Dolphin and Jaguar fans.
Oh, gee, right. Okay, well, we're not looking to Thursday Night Football. Chargers Ravens on Sunday. That's an intriguing game, man. Like Chargers, like Justin Herbert's 23 years of age. How good is that, man?
They are fearless. The Chargers are. That quarterback is fearless, and that Brandon Staley has done an outstanding job. They are really an aggressive, and I say aggressive. I'm not only talking about how physical they play, but I'm talking about their play calling. I love the way they play football. I just think that the west to east travel, which is the toughest that there is, and the fact that Baltimore can be so physical. And, we saw last week that Lamar has really made strides throwing the football. I think it's going to be a tall ask for San Diego for the Chargers to go across country and get a win in Baltimore. Baltimore's a tough place to play. It's going to be a weather game. I'm going to take the Ravens.
I'm taking the Chargers. I think they're for real. I think now with the Raiders, what's going on there, I think the Chargers have a massive opportunity this weekend to take one up in Kansas City, who have been massively unimpressive. And I was so happy that game went on so late last Sunday. I could watch the game in the airport, Jeff, on the way home Monday morning. I'm taking the Chargers.
How about the fact, now, this is something I wanted to talk to you about. Would you have ever thought we'd be 5 weeks into the season, 5 games into the season, and the team at the bottom of the AFC West would be who? The Kansas City Chiefs. Ooh. Are you kidding me? Now, I don't think it's going to end up that way. But
let me enjoy it for 2 more days, Jeff. Come on.
It has been tough. Well, I know, because you guys are better get your ship righted in Denver pretty quick. What other games you got for us?
Yes, sir. So that's the early game in Sky. Cardinals Browns at 9:00. Intriguing, Jeffrey. Intriguing. Cardinals Browns.
Do you think Zach Ertz is going to get 2 paychecks in the same week?
I think he's going to score in Sunday. But here, Neil picked some good games this week, to be fair to him.
Listen to you. I tell you what, going to be a great game. I still like the Cardinals. The thing I saw out of Cleveland last week is obviously they ran the ball extremely well. Yada yada yada. Cardinals got some pretty good defensive football players, especially in that front seven. And I just didn't think that Baker, he had a chance to put that team on his back and win that thing. And I didn't see that. And, OBJ has kind of been, I don't know if it's a trust issue with Baker or whatever, but they're not hitting on all cylinders right now. And I think that Kyler Murray is, and I'm going to stay with a hot hand. I think I'm going to take the Cardinals.
I'm going to take the Cardinals as well. I think, again, on the NFC side, I think they're for real, man. You can see teams starting to emerge. The Cardinals obviously are one of them because of their record, but they just look so good.
Yep,
I'm going to take it. I think they get the win. I think they get the points. Sunday Night Football. I know we're all busy, man. Seahawks Steelers. I think tonight, actually in the last hour, Russell Wilson put in IR, misses at least 3 games. I mean, I think NBC must be disgusted that they've picked this game, Jeff. Weeks ago, Seahawks Steelers.
You mean there's not a lot of fans that are going to want to come see Geno Smith on TV Saturday night?
I'm thinking more about here. It's 1 a.m. You've been in London all day, and the Seahawks and the Steelers are playing. What are you going to do? Oh, I'll watch the game. Nah.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Both those fan bases will watch this game. Now, I don't know if anybody else will watch it, but the Steelers fan base is passionate about their football team. Doesn't matter. And the same with the Hawks. But you know what concerns me about the Hawks, Mike, is they are on path for a historically bad year on defense. And
one more game. One game away.
And not having Russell Wilson is certainly not going to help that. Because if you can't stay on the field offensively and the defense has to start playing a lot, that's not a recipe for success in Seattle. And I know that's got to be killing Pete Carroll because he's a defensive guy.
We'll have to get him on the show to talk about it next week, Jeff. Monday Night Football, Bills, Titans, some clangers of games. That's 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and now that the Bills, Titans, I can't call that. I'm going to say Buffalo, man. Buffalo.
I'm going to say Buffalo, but I'm going to say it's going to be closer than people think it's going to be, right? Because King Henry is, the real deal. And, I'm not sure. Again, I still say that the challenge with the Buffalo is, up front on defense. If you say there's any area, it's in the trenches, offensively and defensively, where they, you got to see what they're up to. Is Milano going to play? There's some issues right there. Now, whether the Titans can stop that Buffalo offense, I don't know. But I'm going to take the Bills, but I think this game's going to be a little closer than people think.
Yes, sir. That's all I have for this week, Jeff. I have no special guests. I did try to get a Jaguars player on for a surprise, but I think he's in bed. So, to be fair to them, like they were training until around 10 or 11 o'clock UK time yesterday.
I know.
I was trained in the evening, and then they got straight over here. So they must be exhausted. Like fair play to Thomas Morstead last week. He looked exhausted. He was looking at you, Jeff, like, I'm tired. I'm only joking, but no, he obviously enjoyed it. Like I know the result didn't go his way on Sunday, but I'm sure it was a special experience for him as well.
Well, I thought he played extremely well, and that was a game that might have been his last game, and it was awesome of him to take time to be on the show with us, on the eve of what a game that may possibly be his last football game, and that was really poignant to hear him talk about that. It's awesome when you get, it's one thing to have players on, it's another thing to have players on that really will share with you what they're thinking or how they feel. Just like Devon was today, to hear him talk about Colt Brennan and their relationship was an awesome thing. And, hear him break down what where he thinks Tua's going. And all of that stuff is, I think, really priceless stuff. And it's awesome to be able to share it with our listeners and viewers.
We're back in a normal day and time next week. You got to give me 24 hours to get over London. Just give me the Monday night. Do not text me until Tuesday morning. Yeah, we'll do like Wednesday next week. Yeah.
All right, let's get that done. Hey, listen, enjoy London. Tell everybody back there I said hello, and let's get on. I tell you what, let's get on Sunday, and I gotta be a part of that act that you got going on top of that roof.
Let's see what we can do. I'll speak to the producer. Honestly, I'm not even trying to big this up. I have no idea how it works. I'm going to tell everybody this live now. We'll see the crack from the producers, see what we can do, even towards the end of the show if needs be in terms of time and stuff. But we'll try and do it. It might be where we're both like this, both screens, but leave it with me and I'll work it out, man. But again, thank you for your support last weekend as well. Massively appreciate it. And to over 1,000 people that have watched this broadcast tonight from 11 o'clock UK time, Ireland time, that is fantastic, and the comments, etc. Thanks a million, Jeff. See you soon.
Well, I tell you what, the tribe is a great bunch of fans, and it's awesome to have you with us. We'll see you next week. If you're in London, go see Mike. If you're not in London, listen to what Irish NFL has to say, because they're shot up from the rooftop one more time.
Yes, sir, and we'll be outside the stadium tomorrow at 2 p.m. if anybody wants to say hi or potentially buy me a pint. Good night. Cheers, Jeff.
All right. Aloha. See ya.